Hello, welcome back to my channel, Mareta Threads. In today's tutorial, we are making a bubble skirt. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you. This is the 30% off discount code for the sewing pattern. It'll last 48 hours and the direct Etsy shop link is below. So this sewing pattern has 4 different iterations. You can either make it in a low-waisted version, a high-waisted version, or have the outer layer of the skirt be made in a rectangular version or a circle skirt version. So I have already made the low-waisted version in both the rectangle and circle skirt method, so I'll try those in now to show you the difference. So this is the low waist rectangle version, and I will say that I think the rectangle version is what's been utilized by most brands because I think it saves fabric, it's a little bit easier to manipulate, and it's more hackable. Here are a couple of my favorite brands who sell bubble skirts, and I think that they've done the rectangle method, but they've actually shortened the length of the rectangle that I've used here, and it makes it a little bit more casual and relaxed. So if you want to make a bubble skirt and you want it to be a little bit more low-key, or you want to hack it more, then the rectangle method is probably what you're going to use. And here is just a close-up version of the skirt. And this is the circle skirt version that I made in Dupion, and the first one was made in Poplin. And I think the difference here with the circle skirt version is just really how it flares out on the body. And here is a little close-up version of the skirt. Okay, now that we have that visual of the two styles in mind, let's talk about size. And also, if you are uncomfortable with knowing what somebody's size is and it's not for you, please fast forward to this timestamp. However, if you find it helpful knowing what someone's sizing is, then this is my sizing information and what sizes I made for the skirt. I'm 173 centimeters tall. That places me just under 5'9", and my waist measurement is 73 centimeters and my hip measurement is about 109 centimeters. On my size guide, that makes me a medium in the waist and a large to extra large in the hips. So for the low-waisted version of the skirt, I opted to make a large. However, if I was making the high-waisted version, then it would have made more sense for me to opt for the medium measurement. So in today's tutorial, we are making this skirt with a invisible zip closure. Now this sewing pattern also comes with written and visual instructions if you prefer to use that medium. However, it is also time-stamped to work in conjunction with this tutorial. Now I will end up doing a sewing hack tutorial of this sewing pattern, which will be with a elastic waistband, which is a little bit easier. However, I just opted for the first one to include a zip closure so that you can also make things that look like this. Anything that integrates a top really calls for a zipper, which means you would need to know how to make the skirt this way. Okay, I think that covers most of our bases, so let's get into it. Print page 1A and use the measuring box to measure 1 centimeter or 1 inch. If that's correct, print the remaining pages. If you only have scissors, go ahead and just cut out the border, but if you do have a cutting mat, grab a Stanley knife, remove the bottom hand of that Stanley knife because it has a little slot in it that you can use to break away the top blade. Grab a steel ruler and then just remove the right hand border and then the bottom hand border. Now your pattern might not look exactly like this, but more or less it should resemble this kind of layout. So you'll have a letter and you'll have a number, and the letter just coincides with the row that you should be taping it down at. So what you're going to do is just place one piece of paper underneath the other, get the little arrows to connect to then create an X, and then you're just going to apply a little small piece of sticky tape on each X. After you've done the small little pieces of tabs and you know that your pattern is aligning really nicely, then you'll go in with the longer lengths of tape and proceed to cut out your sewing pattern. I will also mention that the PDFs have interactive layers, so if you don't want to print out every single size, you can just select one size and print that out. Just make sure that you're using the size guide to select the right size for you. This entire sewing pattern is based around the lining being the perfect fit because the ruching is gathered on top of that. So the lining is the most important thing. Make sure that the lining of the skirt fits you. Now there isn't necessarily a front and back for anything. The only thing that has a front and back is the lining of the skirt. The back lining has a 2 centimeter drop to allow for your bum. So when you get that stabilizer, the very first thing you're going to want to do is apply the stabilizer to the back lining. Once you've applied it, grab it, fold it in half and pop a little pin in the very center. Now I'm using a spare label that I have here, but anything that you have on hand will do. A little piece of ribbon, or if you just want to do a little stitch across the center back so that you can differentiate between the front and back lining, just go ahead and do that. Once you've done the back, then I would add the stabilizer to the front lining. From there, you're just going to sew that side seam closed. Start with a back tack, and we are doing a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance, finishing with a back tack. Now we're almost finished with the lining for now. You're just going to press that seam open that we just created, and then you're going to pick up the outer layers of fabric. Now, whether you're doing a circle skirt or the rectangle version, the same rules apply in this tutorial. So get the side seams, pin them together, bring it across to your sewing machine, and we're going to begin with a back tack and doing a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance again, finishing with a back tack. And same thing again, like our lining, we're just going to press that seam open. Now it's time to prepare our outer layer skirt for ruching, but I might actually just pause here because there are several ways that you can do gathering. In this tutorial, I do 2 rows so that when we gather, one edge doesn't turn over on itself, but this is one way that you can do gathering, where you pinch the thread and let it naturally gather, which does save a lot of time because you only have to do one pass through the sewing machine and it automatically ruches for you. But I would call that a hack, and I'm going to save that for my hack video that will follow after this more technical tutorial. Getting back on track, what you're going to want to do is get 2 of the really long tails so that you have more of a handle to gather with. And then you're going to isolate the side seam. So we're just finding the 2 centimeter mark because our zip is going to go at the start of that. So we don't want to start our gathering there. So we're starting 2 centimeters in, we're doing a 1 centimeter seam allowance, making sure that those side seams that we pressed open are remaining flat, and we're just sewing all the way down this perimeter, no back tacking. Now finish that off again with the little 2 centimeter marker so we don't sew past that point, and then pull it out for some really long tails. Prepare long tails again, and now we're going in for our second pass. The benefit of doing 2 passes is that when you're gathering fabric, it won't fold over on itself, which it can happen sometime. It like curls over, but it also helps in case your thread breaks, you have a little backup thread. We're going to install the zipper now, but I might just pause here again. So this is my little hack that I like to do. So the very top of a zipper usually has that extra 2 centimeters, which gets incorporated into a seam allowance at the top. I know that the top perimeter of my skirt is going to have a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance. So what I do is I get that zip, I measure 1.5, and then anything after that, I snip away. So then I can put the zipper flush at the top of the skirt. And I know when I do my 1.5 centimeter seam allowance later, it will be perfectly placed. So I know that I just said that the top perimeter was a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance, but so are the side seams. Throughout this whole skirt, the side seams are 1.5. So I just drew a border line so that I had that as a reference or a guide for where I could pin the zipper along. And I am assuming here that you know how to install an invisible zipper. Now previously we did have the longer stitch lengths for the ruching, but now we want to make it go back to normal. So I turned the stitch length back to their normal 2.5, and I now installed a zipper foot. If you have an invisible zipper foot, that's even better, but this is what I'm working with, and I'll just show you what I do with this kind of zipper. So I just try to make sure that I have it running in line nicely with that little guide that I did, and I do that as one pass. I don't get too concerned about getting too close to the zipper teeth because I do that in the second pass. So finish with the back tack, and then you're just going to move the invisible zipper to the other side to now do the other side of the invisible zipper. Same thing again, I did it down in 2 passes. So once you close that zipper, if you're happy with how that looks, it's time to close that bottom half that hasn't been zipped and joined together. So I just put in 1 pin, making sure that the 2 layers are sandwiched together evenly. And you're just going to find your last stitch that you did when you were adhering the zipper to the fabric, and you're just going to want to start 1 centimeter or so above that. Start with a little back tack and then sew all the way down, 1.5 centimeter seam allowance, finish with the back tack. Press that open and now you'll see that you have made 2 side seams. You want to join those side seams together just so that you can find the center front and the center back. And from there, you're just going to add some pins at the front and back at both the top and bottom. Now, the reason why you want to do that is because you want to be able to evenly distribute the ruching throughout the skirt. I made the mistake of not adding markers, and when I came to make a skirt, it was just really disproportionate with its bubbling. So once you've done that to both the outer and lining layers, it's time to attach the lining to the outer layer. So currently the outer layer of fabric is good side facing up. You want to grab your lining and put that good side facing down and attach one side of the side seam, to the zipper. And this is probably the most confusing part, so stay with me. I folded in the outer layer because by reducing that surface area, it helped me not get confused. I then took the lining, wrapped it underneath and brought it through to the other side. Now, the same way that we attached the lining to the zipper, we're going to do the same thing again. So remember, good sides are facing each other and we're just going to pin those side seams together. On your sewing machine, you're going to want to put the zipper foot back on the machine because we want to try and get closer to the teeth when we adhere these 2 layers together. So remember to start with the back stitch, and we're probably sewing 0.25 to 0.5 centimeters distance away from the teeth. You don't want to be too close because then that bulking of fabric will get in the way when you try to close it. So close-ish is good enough. And sew as far down as you possibly can. Once the little stopper gets in the way, stop and do a back stitch. And you'll then just repeat that for the other side. So to do the other side, obviously we need to move the zipper foot over to the other side of the machine now. Start with a back stitch, get nice and close and get as far down as you possibly can until the zipper will obviously get in the way and you can't get any further. So currently we are looking at the skirt inside out, but we are facing the lining. I'm just going to flip this, still inside out, but we are facing the outer layer. And it's time to start gathering in the top perimeter of the skirt. So find those long tails that we made and just start ruching it and gathering it together. And as you do that, once you've gathered enough, then you want to find the markers that we put in both the front and back in both the outer and lining layers to match everything up so that we're getting even distribution of that gathering. So just secure that gathering into place with pins if you're happy, and then we'll take that across to our sewing machine. Now you're going to want to put your normal sewing foot back onto the sewing machine, and remember we are doing a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance starting with a back stitch. Now, when I was sampling, I made the mistake of doing this step with the lining facing up, and I really recommend doing the outer layer facing up because as you can see, while I'm sewing, I'm just manipulating those ruches, making sure that they're folded down nice and flat so that when it turns inside out later, there's no bubbling, everything was sewn together neatly. Once you've done that, just secure that last stitch with a back stitch, and then you're going to grab your scissors and just cut away the corner. That cut also includes the 2 layers of fabric and a little bit of the zip. And the reason why you do that is so that when you turn a garment inside out, you can push those corners in really neatly and it has a much slimmer profile. Now it's time to secure the seam allowance down to the lining layer. So I'll just show you here. This little layer here, that seam allowance, we're going to stitch that attached to the lining right there. Now bring that across to your sewing machine, and I will actually say it probably is worthwhile using some pins to definitely make sure that the seam allowance is attached to the lining, because I always skip that step and then I always mess it up. So probably just add in a few pins if you like. Now start with a back stitch, and I will also mention you can't start this stitch all the way at the start because the zipper will interfere with that. So get as close as you can to the zipper and just sew closely. I think I did about a 0.5 centimeter seam allowance for this top stitch. And this is what you should be left with. So we're almost on the home stretch, but before we do anything else, we still need to adjoin these two lining layer pieces together. It's the same thing that we did when we were doing the zip. So just put some pins in to the side, bring it across to your sewing machine. You're using a zipper foot, and we're starting our stitch 1 or 2 centimeters above the last visible stitch that we can see. We're doing a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance. We're starting with a back stitch, going all the way down. We are finishing with a back stitch. And now it is time for the home stretch. So you're going to want to put your normal standard sewing foot on, turn the stitch length up all the way that it can go, have the long tails that you're starting with, and we're doing the first pass. This time I'm doing the first pass at 0.5 of a centimeter, long tails, pull it out, and then you're just going to repeat that process one more time. The only difference being this time round that we are doing a 1 centimeter seam allowance. I then just turn the skirt inside out so that the lining is facing me, and I begin gathering it. We are still using the markers as a reference, but I also recommend making sure that your markers are facing the right way out of the skirt, because we're about to close this up and you don't want to get any needles or pins lost in there. Now it's time to join the two layers together. Make sure that we're working with the outer layer of fabric facing up, manipulating it flat as we go. Now in this example, I did do a 1 centimeter seam allowance. However, 1.5 centimeter is what you will see in the instructions. So once you've done the full perimeter of the skirt, you are pretty much done. Now you can finish this with a overlocked edge. If you don't have an overlocker, you can do a zigzag stitch. However, the cleanest will be a bias binding. You're then going to turn the skirt inside out, and this is what you should be left with. Okay, that is the end of the tutorial. I really hope that was helpful, but if it wasn't, or you have any questions, comment below and I will get back to you. And I will also mention that I'm actually starting my free beginner sewing series this week, so please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to get access to the free sewing patterns. However, if you would like to have a say about the kind of outfits that I'm making, please feel free to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, because I'll be putting out a whole bunch of ideas of different outfits that we can make, and depending on what the response is will depend on what we bring out first. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy the sewing ahead, so enjoy yourself and good luck.